Okay, so before I showed you the whole foot with the skin on it. Now, one of the reasons that the teachings of anatomy in the hoof care industry, and that is both a lot in farriery, smithing, veterinary science and stuff like that, is because you saw how hard it was to get off a really damaged hoof capsule. Okay, so rather than taking hoof capsules off, they pretty much slice and dice. And here's the deal. When the sciences really started coming along back in the 17th century, and then into the 18th, and of course we used horses, the combustion engine was invented, and so the study of the hoof kind of fell to the wayside, really. And so then the X-ray machine was invented, and so they didn't see this as a whole foot. They see this as body parts, not as skin covering a whole unit. And unless you see this first, well, then all that other stuff can be arranged any which way. So then the X-ray machine came along, and primarily you don't really see the soft tissue. It's more of a shadow, but you see the coffin bone and the bony column here. And so they focus too much on the coffin bone. Well, the coffin bone only takes up about a third of the entire foot. The rest is soft cartilage and soft tissues. So, okay, so the other way that they study the foot then is to slice it in half with the hoof capsule on it. And so they look at all that as one unit, and that can be wholly deformed, distorted, things like that. So then this is what you have. This is what they're looking at. And all this, now this is shrunk. So this, the back, the caudal part of the foot here is not as, hope I'm pronouncing that word right, is not as pronounced and as big as it usually is, because this digital cushion right here shrinks up. Everything shrinks up when the foot dries out. However, the coffin bone doesn't really dry out. So here's your coffin bone. Here's your navicular bone. Here's your short pastern bone. Here's your long pastern bone. Here's your digital cushion. Here's your deep digital flexor tendon that connects under in here. And then if we look at the outside, it's covered with skin. Here's your frog skin that grows the frog. Here's your sole skin that grows the sole. And remember, it lifts up over the outside, so it grows a convex rim of sole here. Here's your lamina skin that connects the hoof capsule. Here. Okay, you see the lamina in there? It's kind of hard to see, kind of dark. See the lines? That connects and interweaves into these lines here, lamina leaves, like this. Okay. And so then you have your coronary band skin that grows the hoof capsule. See, here's your coronary band. On the hoof capsule, where it fits is called the coronary band groove, right there. So all this grows from this here, just like the hair grows. Okay, now on this foot here, this is not a deformed foot. This is a perfect foot right here. It had no distortion whatsoever. So here we have the hair and the hide, and the skin that covers the leg. I've skinned part of the leg so you can see the internal part, which I did not do with this other foot over here. And so you see the hair. The skin grows hair. Well, guess what? The skin inside here grows this. Right here. Grows all this. Grows the frog, grows the sole, grows the bars, grows the wall, produces the lamina that connects the laminar line, which they call the white line, which is really yellow most of the time, or gray, and connects the sole to the wall. So, again, you have one unit covered with skin with parts in it, and this one unit has a specific shape and form. Now this one is still slightly deformed in the back here. The cartilages and bulbs should have been way more pronounced out here. It's all been wrapped around in the foot here in a way it shouldn't have been, and the heels were crushed due to trimming out, incorrect trimming of the heels. So what we do in tact is we want to grow a hoof capsule to support the inner foot, the foot that's inside here. Now this hoof capsule is temporal. In other words, it starts up here, it grows off, it's gone. Unless the horse dies and then you have it preserved like this, it's gone forever. It turns into dust. And there you go, there's your foot again. Okay, so these are all different horses. But anyway, this here is the same horse as this one here. Okay? That's, if you cut it in half, that's what it's going to look like. It's going to have parts in it, but those parts are in a specific location. See that digital cushion? It's not supposed to be on the ground. It's up in the foot, covered with skin, in a specific position right up in here. And then you grow the hoof capsule and you have a good, strong frog up between here that supports this whole digital cushion. So the object of tact, the anatomically correct trim, which that was an accident that it came out to have that name, because, see, I thought that most of these people that are experts actually knew the anatomy. But if you look back in history, there's quite an issue about this. But we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to talk about is how this digital cushion has to be supported by the capsule in a specific location within this foot. It's not supposed to be stretched out and pulled clear down to the ground. They make a mistake there in thinking when they trim the heels out and this digital cushion gets pulled way down here, that that's the digital cushion developing. No, it's the digital cushion being destroyed because you're removing the frog support that grows between there. Remember I showed you that? Even on this foot, here, the back of the foot, ain't nothing wrong with this part of the foot here. Okay. Here, she had a heck of a good frog and frog stay supporting her bulbs. Right there. Okay, so here's your frog. Look how that thing is hard to push down. That is up between your bulbs, supporting the bulbs and supporting the digital cushion, which is in the foot right here. Now think about it. This pastern descent, look, now I can get the pastern to descend. Remember before? When it was in the capsule up here, I couldn't get it to do that. Okay, now look, this is how, so you got your frog in here. Okay, this foot is this high up off the ground, and you got your frog stay, which is right here. Nothing wrong with the back of this foot. And so you got your frog stay right here, and as the pastern descends, this poor horse hasn't been able to descend her pastern in 20 years. Look at that. But now that the foot is down like this, look, see how I can press down, and the collateral cartilages will open up here as the pastern is pressing down like this. Okay, and so that frog supports all this up where it should be, and then when this is pressed down, it runs into that frog right there, and well, how would you say it? Okay, so it's pressing on that, and it's just compressing this fat, and the fat is not wanting to be compressed, and the fat is pressing back. That's how it's supposed to work. It's a suspension system. Okay, so when there's nothing there, the digital cushion gets destroyed. It just bottoms out like that. But when it has the frog here, see? It's setting up between there. You got this going on. And man, that's hard to push down. That's pushing up the whole time. But if I take the heels down so there's no room, then the horse just bottoms out like that. See, you want it to go like this. Look. See, now that I have the foot released from this evil toe here, now her foot can work correctly, if I can make it do this. And so the pastern here would descend between these. I probably can't do it. Anyway, this would come down like this. It would, you can see it move a little, you know. If I could get everything held together here and force it, I could bring this pastern down between here, and it would press down on this, and this would go down like that and be pressing up. See there? Yeah, I'm not strong enough to make it do all that. But see, she had some distortion and some different things. We're not going to go into all the details here of why this foot did this and how it could have been fixed. But I just want to show you that that is the way that the frog works. Now, let's put this up here. Get a look, see there. Okay, now, see, here's another hoof capsule. This one didn't have a lot of frog. And his hoof capsule got long and collapsed down and pulled the back of the foot down. And so this is just the opposite here of what you got here. See, this foot got pulled down to the ground, so he didn't have much of a frog stay here. Or frog. This did not get pulled down. You know, was a little high, not all that much, but this frog is actually where it's supposed to be. And so, see there, nice healthy frog stay in there, even though there's some issues with the frog, which again, we're not going to go into that right now, but I want you to look at the inside of there. See how long this area is here and how short it is over there. This, what'd you call that? That's what grows from the frog corium. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to look at this foot here, which is perfect. This foot was a perfect foot. I need to get it back in the... there we go. Okay, now you see a perfect foot here. Here's the frog that has to be up between the bulbs, right there. Here's the frog stay. The periopal goes perfectly around the top. It's not pulled under the foot. It crowns the top of the foot. That's why Bracy Clark, when he made his cardboard hoof, he took a little gold leaf and he put it all around the top here, because he knows that that crowns the foot. It connects the hoof capsule here to the foot, right here, to the hide on the foot. Okay. So this is an anatomically perfect foot. It hasn't been deformed at all. I have another foot here. Just a second here. That I took a plaster cast of. Okay, now the difference here in these 2 feet is I want you to see the coronary band here, how it's pulled down under like that. Not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be straight out like that. Okay, and it pulled the cartilage down under there too, like that. Because remember, this is all soft tissue, so it can be deformed if it doesn't have the correct configuration of the capsule to support it. This has to be up between the bulbs right there to support that within the foot. Because again, what do we got? We got a foot covered with skin. See, I repeat, repetition. Foot covered with skin that is one unit. And then it has parts inside, and 2/3 of that foot is soft cartilage and fat, which can be deformed and distorted depending on what happens to this hoof capsule. So, we'll look at this here. I want you to see on the capsule how it bent down like that. Not supposed to do that. Should have been up like this, and these cartilages should have been out like so. Even though on this foot it may look like that's a little bent down, in reality it's not. It's just shrunken up some. That is, you see the coronary band though. Of course, this was a mare. She had smaller feet, but you see how the coronary band comes right back to here, straight back. It does not whip around the foot. It does not bend down. Not like this horse here, bends down. And when I, how do I say it? When I took the capsule off one of his feet, they're both the same in front. When I took the capsule off, it was like this. I'll show pictures of it. And after a few days, setting in salt, this cartilage returned back up to where it wanted to be. Where this one is, right here. You got to be able to recognize shapes. You know, just because you see a foot like this doesn't mean this is the way the hoof capsule is supposed to be. If you look inside this hoof capsule here, you will see that it's slightly high.